Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Dinks with Kinks. Before we get started tonight, I want to remind everyone to follow us on social media at Dinks with Kinks on both Twitter and Instagram. You can find the links below, including our merch store where you can get some cool Dink and Kink merch, and our Patreon where you can go and help support us. So check it out. Now that that's said, my name is John Dondero, and I am one of your hosts. And with me tonight, as always, the very knowledgeable Mr. Shep.
Good evening.
And the very sultry Miss Rebecca.
Hello.
So you guys are probably wondering why I'm talking funny. It's because this week I have to talk with my fists. Because we are, in fact, covering a very fun subject.
Why do we let him open the show? Shep, why do we let him open the podcast?
Because I'm really good at it.
He has the control of the buttons and things, I guess.
Oh, I see.
Currently.
I'm a faster talker than you both, so I get in there.
You know what? I'm going to just start counting how long it takes before you make a pun about whatever it is we're doing. That's
Oh, absolutely.
And today I'm sure you're going to take us elbows deep.
Oh, we're going shoulder deep tonight. We're going as far as God will let us. We are talking about a very, very odd fetish, fisting. And I knew
that sounds like you could wiggle your pinky out from the back of their throat.
Yeah, well, it's when you want to high five a tonsil from the back end. Actually, we're actually this week is another one of those episodes where it's like we're going to talk about a lot of things that could go wrong with this particular kink, with what can go right and how to properly do it. Because guys, I want to say right now, I went out and learned several techniques of how to fist somebody. I want to say I am now a fisticuff master. And those of you who don't know what fisting is, do you guys know what fisting is, by the way? Yeah. Rebecca, Shep?
It's where you punch the donkey, right?
Close. Very close. And we're going to get to that. Fisting is when you take your entire hand. Of course, everybody's familiar with the phrase fingering. Fingering is a lot like fisting, except on a smaller scale. I insert a finger
doodle
into,
dandy.
In the female genitals or anal cavity of both male or female. Instead of using the finger, I'm just going, you know what? I'm going to fight your colon. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to fist fight your insides and shove my whole hand in there.
You're making it sound
to
so
the world
negative,
of tomorrow.
Though. No, it's not negative. You know what? It's one of those things where this is something I would try. 100% on board with this. I mean, I don't know how I would go about it. I lie. I know exactly how I would do it.
I was like, did you do any research?
One finger
Oh,
at a
I did a
time.
lot of research. But it's something that,
lubricant.
I would definitely
precisely,
try
ample
if my partner was into. I particularly don't want to be fisted, but if my partner were into it, 100% would do.
Your partner would be you into them.
Fair
In
enough.
a whole
fair enough.
new
Right.
world.
Now, before we go any farther, I do want to know,
Any deeper.
Rebecca, Shep, since y'all do know what it is, have y'all ever experienced this? Either side.
I have not. I think the most out of a 5-digit hand, I think the most I've ever gotten was 4.
So your thumb cyst. You don't want thumbs in there. That's cool.
It's been a while since that. I think I would try it, but I don't know if I always have been with people that had big hands. So
This would be a great fetish for Donald Trump to do. Because he has tiny hands.
okay.
This is
and
his
now,
fetish.
And now
No.
everyone has
That-
no, we're not gonna do that here. No here.
I will
no.
say this. That is not a political statement. I am not commenting on any presidency, but I do know there was a joke that he had tiny hands. That's all I know. It's the only joke I'm making. The tiny hands.
My hands aren't that big.
I also know another guy with tiny
have a
hands,
joke
but
for
no
me?
one, No one's gonna say this is a fetish for my buddy Nick.
Shep's
who
like,
has
come
tiny
after
hands."
me. Come at me.
Yeah, come at me, bro. Yeah, I was like, I have a
Just
friend
not
who has
on me.
tiny hands, and if I said, "Yeah, come after me, not on me,"
Not in my hair. Not in my eye.
come after me, not before me.
That's
That's what she said.
Try not in the eye, but sometimes that volcano erupts and
Anyway, no,
it'll kill you.
I mean,
It's a Kilauea.
I might sound negative about this, but I'm genuinely curious about it. Like I didn't find a lot of information on the why, but I did find a lot of information on the how and how to do it properly.
Well,
oh, see, that's
some
different.
people
I
like
found a lot of. I
depth.
found a lot on the why.
Well, some people
then-
like depth, and some people like width. Like cheese wheels.
What about you, Miss Chip? Have you ever experienced fisting?
Nay.
Nay. So you've never rectally punched anyone. That's cool.
Why has it got to be a rectum?
Well, what I was going to get
Because that could
into,
damn near kill him.
what I was going to get into is where it first really emerged, as at least as a popular sexual practice. It was
Or
probably
you
in the-
mean submerged?
No. This dates back to the 12th century. No, 20th century. About 1,000 years ago. There was a club called the Catacombs. Yeah. And they used to practice fisting. And it was particularly a homosexual activity. Men on men putting fists up each other's butts, which is absolutely fine. I'm fine with that. That sounds like actually the most bro thing you could do. Like, the fist bump. Well, we're going to do the fist bump on the inside, and I'm down for that.
I'm on the opposite side of that one.
You don't want a fist bump on the inside?
Oh, I mean, not that I don't want to, no, but I would also be on the no. You should never really do this because that particular exit preferred can be easily damaged by these kind of
And-
actions.
I will say this. We are definitely going to get into I have a whole list of what can go wrong and how to do this properly so it doesn't. Like I said, I found a lot of the how and the what, but not a lot of the why. So I think right now we're gonna turn to Miss Rebecca, and she's going to give us the why, and I'll get to the how in a minute.
So I actually, hopped on. I did not do porn. Because I hopped on YouTube, and
So what you're telling me is I can go to the popular website, YouTube, which is where I watch my PewDiePie videos, and I can find fisting videos. Cool. I'm into that.
yes,
On
actually,
YouTube?
on YouTube, and there's
Wrong tube, YouTube.
and there's actually a lesbian. There's lesbian and a gay male, and they were both talking about it, and a lot of people actually do it. It's one of these kinks that a lot of people actually do it, but they don't talk about it because it is not very prevalent in the porn industry. But they were talking about why they did. They like Shep said, the width. They liked how it felt. I know that the gentleman was talking about how you can position your hand in a way that it hits the prostate, and it like the sensation of it filling him up. And
Isn't that more like you can grab the prostate at that point?
Wow, Rebecca, you are right. There's a lot of fisting on YouTube. Holy crap.
yeah. There's even like how to do it.
Holy yes,
like,
but crap
explaining
no.
the toys.
Yeah, I've seen so many pictures of fist toys. I'm into this. I like it.
Yes. So they're trying to. I think what they're trying to do, because one of the videos that I talked about is, there a lot of people don't do it in porn because they actually could get sued for it.
Yes.
Because of like you could do a lot of damage. Like we're talking, it is actually very dangerous. But they're trying to make it less of a taboo thing. and that's why it's a lot of people are talking about it on YouTube. But it's just like anything else. You buy the wider dildos, you buy the things. I mean, especially the females were talking about we push out humans out of out of our vaginas. What makes you think that we can't fit a whole fist up there? Like,
I do believe dragon
correct me if
dildos-
I'm wrong, though, but in the acts of pushing out those little humans, there was never an O face going on there.
some women do have orgasms during labor and delivery.
I stand corrected. Or sit.
My mom did,
Whatever the case may be.
which is weird because I was a C-section, but that's cool. It's whatever.
But yes, some women do have orgasms there. So, I mean, it just depends on your nerves and whatnot. And it's not for everyone.
I think this.
Yeah.
I wonder
This
if
very
on the
much-
way out the baby's punched back in.
Ooh. I think this goes very much in the same category as like ball busting, testicular torture. The pain receptors trigger pleasure receptacles. The one thing I did find, it's not so much it was like when you think about sex and fingering, there's a lot of like motion in and out, 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 just like with sex, the heavy pounding, as it were. With fisting, it's not so much the in and out, it's the insertion and the stretching that really gives the sensation. It's not like you don't get the sensation of putting your fist in, taking it back out repeatedly. It's more or less the insertion deeper and deeper, and then the slow removal. That's the one thing I did find out, like with the pleasure.
One of the females was talking on one of the videos I was watching was talking about the game that they like to play. Like, can you get your hand back? They can tense their muscles up.
Shep?
Trying.
I feel like we have a game to play.
I have no.
Yeah.
And I was still fixated on the word, the pleasure receptacles, yes?
Yes.
That was a technical term?
For what? Toys or butt play or putting in there? What are we talking
Well,
about?
just the word you said, the word pleasure receptors or receptacles, I thought I heard.
Yeah, the receptacles.
I don't know. I think if it's, if it's something like that, maybe we should just call them pleasure testicles.
Pleasure
Those are the new
testicles.
receptors of pleasure.
I like it. You can
And
stuff your,
I did learn the difference between vaginal fisting and anal fisting. And you have to think about it.
Aside from the different entrance.
Yeah, besides that, like with vaginal, there's something to stop you from going all the way in.
Yeah, you have a
There's
cervix.
Cervix. In when you fist the anus, there's not anything like you could go. pretty far.
Forever.
You could
You
go
can get-
pretty far, which is why
you
you have to be
can-
careful and you have to be safe because it's a little different when you're doing it vaginally versus anally.
Yeah,
Alright.
I mean, I could be totally wrong, but I mean, back in school when we were learning about the body and organs and stuff, but didn't they say you can, stretch out the human intestines for about a mile or so?
Yeah, but I wouldn't suggest doing that while it's still on the inside.
Yeah, right. So now I
That being
understand the whole shoulder attempt.
Oh, absolutely.
If I want to wear my partner, I guess.
It's called, I think fisting is like a very gruff term. I like to refer to it as puppeteering. Because I'm about to turn you into a meat puppet.
Pretty much.
Pretty
much.
Yeah.
All right, first
Not
let me cover some of the risks that are involved with this, and then we're going to get into how to properly do it. And let me tell you, I know everything about fisting now. You guys are going to be so proud of me and be so okay with me fisting both of you. You're going to be like,
And
oh,
so never you walking behind me ever again?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I was like,
Never trust
and
me.
John is walking first.
that's how I always get first in line for ice cream. I learn how to fist. All right, some of the risks you can cause, and this is for both male
Fist
and
me a
female.
winner, John. Fist me a winner.
Like I said, you're dealing with tissues that are not used to stretching like that. So you absolutely can cause a laceration or perforation, which is just straight piercing. of both the vagina, the perineum, the rectum, or the colon. And I'm going to tell you right now, poop comes out your butt and shouldn't belong in your bloodstream. That's where the real danger comes inside. Is if you get a laceration inside your buttholes, it actually can cause a very serious infection. With women, any type of massive object entering the vaginal canal can lead to air actually being pushed in, which can lead to a very fatal air embolism. So it's something you have to be very cautious with doing and make sure you're not trapping and pushing air where it doesn't belong. All the air you want in your butt, because everybody farts.
You also have to be careful of micro tears. Micro tears, like with that amount of stretching. I mean, it's not just when you think laceration, you think large thing, but micro tears are just as dangerous and just as painful.
Yes, I believe the AKA anal fissures.
Absolutely.
Namely so because they never heal.
No, because they are literally, and I'm going to use the technical term, they're literally surrounded by shit constantly. I think that was the medical terminology for that, right?
So unless every one of your sessions is pristine and clear, you have instant irritation and redness, rashes, everything, just because that slight little touch.
And you can get them vaginally too.
Yes. So, like I said, use caution. Let's not be crazy. Now, you can still do this, and there's still very safe ways to do this and practice it. Now we've got the negativeness out, let's talk about some of the methods. Some of the fun methods
methods to avoid the madness.
The most commonly known is called duck billing, or as I like to call it, silent ducking. No, silent duck. And it's just you take your fingers and you make a duck. Quack, 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 quack. And I think for this episode, since I can only show so many pictures on Instagram, I'm just going to take pictures of my hand in the various fisting method.
Does it have to be in the shape of a specific breed of duck? Because
mallard.
Quack, quack. But I mean, what about the squawk, squawk types?
No. You definitely want to stick with your common variety mallard.
Okay.
You don't want to goose this. This is not a goose situation. You want to get in there and really mallard that shit up, small beak, slowly work it in. And as you go in, then you can slowly turn your duck into a rabbit. And not with the ears, but the rabbit head. So imagine the ears are slooped back. So you just have a fist. You go from hungry chicken.
Wait a minute, we went from a duck. Where did the chicken come in? It came from before the egg this time, damn it.
It really did.
It was coming for the egg.
It really was. And this is actually very commonly used in both anal and vaginal penetration when fisting's involved. There's a more vigorous form of fisting, and it is literally labeled punching or punch fisting, which sounds badass to me. It just sounds like you're punching a rectum.
It should be the one that's called donkey punch.
It really is. Those of you who don't know what a donkey punch is, it's when you shove your thumb into a girl's ass, punch her in the back of the head, or a man's ass. Listen, we are not gender biased here.
No.
And we love both man butts and women butts. We're all about the butts.
And those
you punch them in the back of the head.
Everybody in between.
Yeah. Non-binary, you guys got butts. We like them butts too.
Mm-hmm. As long as there's an anus involved with a thumb and then the back of a head that is preferably connected to that anus.
If you have an anus and the back of a head, you can get donkey punched.
Don't go stick your thumb in one person's anus and punch another person in the back.
That's what we call the international donkey punch.
I thought that was a donkey slap.
Oh. Guys, you should never donkey punch anybody. That's very childish and immature. And if you donkey punch people, yeah. But anyway, fisties, and that's what they're like to call people who accept the fist, called fisties, who are more experienced, can actually take 2 fists. I do not recommend
It
this.
almost sounds like a type of martial art too.
It really does. Fisty. I am a fisty. I
I'm
can
a
take
master of the fisties arts.
I can take two fists. And what they call it, and I'll never be able to unhear this word in any context other than this, is double fisting. When I used to say, hey bro, double fist that, it's two drinks in my hand at the same time. Now what I'm going to see is throwing two fists into a butthole. That's what
Because
I'm forever going to
that's how
see.
you wear somebody.
Yeah. That's when you're trying to make a shirt out of somebody.
I would like to apologize to all those people who are into fisting right now. We are not treating this respectfully.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I don't judge fisters, and like I said, I've known people who do like large insertions, who are into fisting. I've actually back in my television days recorded a reality show at a clothing optional all male resort. They were traveling a bunch of gay people. It was a very like sex positive show, and that event had an event called Fist Fest. And that's what actually was my real first introduction into the like how fisting is done. Like, oh, no, it requires a lot of lube, a lot of patience, and a lot of trust. And of course, we're going to make jokes about it.
Training.
And
That's
training.
that is what I heard over and over again in these videos. It was I trained. It wasn't just something that they just like, let's try it. Like they worked. You have to be in the right frame of mind. It's like going back to the anal episode. You have to relax. You have to be in the right frame of mind. You have to make sure that your body can take it. You can't just go straight into that, whether it either vaginally or anally. Like they trained their bodies. They knew like it wasn't just a one and done type situation.
This is not some drunk punch love.
No,
It's not punch drunk love. You don't want to be elbow deep on the first try.
No.
Because if you are elbow deep on the first try, something's wrong. Go to a doctor immediately. But you were right. This is very taboo as far as like pornography goes. It is not illegal to do anywhere, but it is illegal to film it in England. In America, actually, it is not considered illegal to film fisting pornography. The only types of pornography illegal in the United States currently is child pornography, which it should be and should always be illegal. But in the UK, it is actually illegal to film. In many other countries, the article I read, it was it's very, very banned in the UK to film fisting porn, though it is legal to do. So you can get fisted, just don't film it.
Yes, and safety first, second, and third, because you don't want to end up on that TV show Sex Sent Me to the ER as you walk in there stuck up somebody's asshole. I mean, we don't want to get Centipede movie going here.
No, but if I ever saw that in the hospital, I would forever call that person the puppet master.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I did also hear because, and I am doing all of this secondhand because I haven't experienced this, but that it's actually, even though there's a lot of risks to it, it's safer to actually, if you like the larger object, safer to do fisting because it's attached to your, like it can't get lost or lodged, or it's not a hard object like a cucumber.
Unless, of course, you're using a prosthetic arm because you lost your arms in another fisting accident. Then what do you do, Rebecca? I'm sorry.
I wish our audience could see the look I am giving you. Right
it's a horrible look.
And I'll fix that look by saying, always remember, take off your rings and bracelets.
Yes.
Oh, God. Could you imagine losing a watch in somebody?
I'm sure the x-rays have shown it's happened.
I'm sure. But that's another thing.
There have been gerbils. There have been cars. I'm sure there's been watches.
Cut your nails. Don't do this
Absolutely.
Females, don't do this with fake nails or long nails. Men, well, you should be trimming your nails if you're going anywhere near any of those orifices anyway. So
that's right. Yeah, fake nails would be really bad. Could you imagine coming out and you're missing 2 nails? That would mortify both me and the person I was with. I was just like,
And that's a waste
gonna-
of a set of acrylics.
yeah, I was like, I'm gonna poop your nails later.
Yeah. All this nice information on. So the sands through the hourglass, so through the fist through my ass.
Oh, there it is. Now comes
I
a
love it.
time where I
Nice
want to ask
daytime
you
drama.
guys. I want to ask you guys, would this be something you'd be willing to do, either receive or, give?
Receive only vaginally. Give probably.
Probably only give vaginally because of all my concerns with all the damage that can be done so easily, anally and such.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same boat as Shep. I suffer from a condition called diverticulitis, which is pretty much my buttholes are full of holes, so I know what kind of pain that can cause and the dangers of it. So I think I would be willing to try this with my partner vaginally, but I don't think I could do it anally just because, and it's just a safety feature for me. I don't judge anybody who does do it anally. I just don't think I could because of my personal experiences with, issues with that. So
Yeah, when
Speaking
people
of-
start eyeing his butthole, a little neon sign says "Danger Zone."
Danger zone. Dun, 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 dun. All right. So now that we've covered, would you guys do it? I do want to talk about a new show we have. We got a brand new video segment for
Would you tell
the
us
Dinks with Kinks. Oh, I am. It's called the Would You Will, where we take everyday people and content creators of all sorts that usually work in the sex industry, and we put them in the hot seat and we spin our wheel of kinks that we've talked about in the past and get their opinions of it. Pretty much, would you do this, or what do you think of this? Have you done this? And they tell us their stories. It's a great find.
And you might find yourself a shepherd on that wheel too.
Oh, absolutely. Shep's on that wheel, and it's always yes, would do, 100%. And that's just me. But yeah, we're actually offering the shortened episodes on our YouTube and Instagram and Twitter at Dinks with Kinks, and on the YouTube channel, the Dondero Streams TV. But if you want to see the full unedited episode with all the kinks, you definitely have to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/dinkswithkinks, where we have full episodes of it. It's been a lot of fun doing. They're usually fun and silly. We keep it very light. So, that being said, we have our own wheel to spin, guys. We have what we're talking about next week. Our
So exciting.
wheel
Every
of
week.
kinks.
Every week.
Every week. I love the wheel. The
I
wheel
do
is the
too.
best producer you could have.
I love it when it has more leg on it.
We'll get my leg
All
on
right.
it.
So we talk a lot about sex on this podcast. A lot about sex, right?
No,
Well-
we talk about kinks, and sometimes they just
Well-
happen to involve sexual acts.
I
They
mean,
really
Come
do.
on now,
Yeah.
let's keep this straight.
That's true.
Well, next week we're actually going to be chastising ourselves. We're going to be talking about chastity and what that entails.
Isn't that your second cousin, or?
No, this is not my second cousin that works at the club down the street. This is actually a thing when it causes caging genitals for punishment. It's very popular with subs and cystification. Yep. They
I can
make.
see it in
I have.
Sissification, yeah.
I absolutely have so much to show about this. This is very heavily used in cystification, which I'm very familiar with. It's very
And
uncomfortable.
I'm worried that maybe we don't want to see all of this.
Oh,
that
you
you wanna show
absolutely
us.
do. Oh, I'm going to show you a lot, and I'm excited about next week. Next week's going to be a good episode. It's going
You
to be
say
fun.
that every week.
And every week I'm right. Oh, fist bump. So, so from the lovely studios of Dinks with Kinks, I am one of your hosts, John Dondero, and with me, my fist bros for life,
No
Miss
hose.
Rebecca.
Good evening. I was confused about where you were going with that.
No, you're my fist bros. We fist bump all the time. You perverts.
I'm never doing anything related to fist with you again, ever. No.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
First
wait.
in line for ice cream every time. And Mr. Shep. Tell
Till
him good
next
night.
time, everyone.
Thank y'all so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.